Hopefully this one looks better. We'll find out here in just a minute, as soon as some people come in. All right. Let's see. Gonna do some stuff. Welcome to the Monday Midday Live. If you're watching this after the fact, I just went live. The visuals, something was messed up with it. So this is the second time for the day. If you're just stepping into this video after the fact, usually I will change the title according to whatever it is that we talk about. Mondays, we just talk about anything and everything, and we kind of go ahead and let the conversation go where it goes. And then I'll change the title and put some of the things we talk about in the title. So if you're watching it after the fact and you see the title, that's probably got a lot to do with what we talked about, to give you an idea whether you want to watch for the next however long this is, because sometimes we go for a while. But got to set a couple things up here real quick. And let's see here. Yeah. Nope. Not doing that. Okay. All right. Let's check that out. See if the visuals are a little better this time. They were stretched. That was weird. I think they look a lot better this time, so that's good. From what I'm seeing, that's what I'm seeing here. So hopefully hopefully we'll be good, man. It kind of looked the screen looked like a like when you do not linear, but the other one, the wide angle. It looked like a wide angle lens, and but I think it looks better now. We'll let some people hop into the chat and see what you guys think, and yeah, we'll do it like that. So yeah, man, wild, absolutely wild. So let me do something else here. I usually don't have to do this. I have it all set up, but yeah, 5 minutes. That was crazy. Okay. All right. To set this thing up, give you guys a chance to go ahead and hop in as well. So we're gonna delete that. Yeah. Go over here. Doing a little bit of work behind the scenes here. Gonna go ahead and put my description back in. Just doing this in real time. So I do the worst live streams sometimes. Like it's the lowest budget operation on the internet, and it shows. All right, so we got that in. So anyway, hopefully you guys are doing well. Go ahead and start with gas prices. So today I did not get gas, but I saw it at two different prices. I saw it at the price of $2.69 on one side of town and $2.78 on the other side of town. And then in another town nearby, it was like $2.99. So that's the gas prices. So we get the chat up here. We'll check the audio. Check the audio in the chat. Make sure I'm actually doing something. All right. Make sure we're actually doing something here. But I got to give you guys some time to find the live. So in the meantime, building the small YouTube empire, one video at a time, one live stream at a time. This is the Monday Midday Live. Been trying to do this pretty consistently, and I just messed it up. So hopefully everybody can find me here. We'll just hang out. But yeah, doing that. I got the second channel going pretty good, pretty strong. I've had some good connections going on over there, right? We're meeting some people who are related to the content over there, which is awesome. So it's kind of a free your mind type of thing. Real Thoughts Project, go check it out. I should put a link in the description. Maybe I will after the video. I don't want to do that right now. But yeah, so that seems to be going pretty well. And we're just growing that channel, but we don't have to worry about like the monetization and all that stuff. I'm not really worried about that. I'm just worried about the message, kind of it has a mission to it, right? It has a mission. It's very similar to a lot of the things we talk about on the live stream, but it's a little bit more well thought out, and I'm doing a lot of research over there. So we got that going. We got the Driving Daily channel going. barely. We're still going. We're keeping the dream alive. I don't have I haven't been putting out a lot of videos. I've been working a lot, and also I've been putting a little bit of time into that other channel. But I am going to be back. Hopefully we'll be doing some, back to doing like some cars and coffees and some car meets and checking out some general stuff like that in the future here, and kind of get back to that. I'm not sure, but I think there's going to be like a racetrack that's going to be opening up very near me. If that is the case, I'm very excited, and hopefully I'll be able to be up there like every weekend doing videos. So, yeah. All right. All right. So I'm just, I shared out the live stream, and it was the wrong live stream. So, because it was the last live stream. So all the sharing, everything I did to get the live stream out, that did absolutely nothing. So I probably should share it here a little bit, but maybe we'll do it a little bit later on, and get some people in here. But anyway, I hope everybody's doing well, and I appreciate you being here. And yeah, we're just flexing the live stream muscles, because we're building the YouTube empire. Is anybody else building their own little miniature YouTube empire? Yes, it's miniature. No, I have no interest in being like Mr. Beast. I don't want to be famous, whatever. We're just trying to have a good impact here and have a good time. And, on this channel, explore the cars and exploring in and of itself, just going to cool places and stuff like that. And the dream would be basically being able to travel not only to cool places, but racetracks and things like that, also car shows, and do videos on that. So that would be the ultimate cool dream for this channel. And I've done a good deal of that. I just wish I could travel more. And so in the future, that's part of the plans, is to travel more and, get a little bit more traction, so we can get a little more exposure to different people and stuff like that out here. It would be great. But anyway, yeah, so I messed up the live stream earlier. My bad. So hopefully everybody finds us. There was a few people in there, and then I had to drop it because the video, I've never seen that happen before, by the way, where the video did look stretched. It looked like a wide angle lens, and I didn't do any settings that were different on this, but something interesting happened the other day when I uploaded a video on Real Thoughts Project, actually, which was just a simple video, very simple, similar to this, same setup. I had the phone up here, and it was just a regular 1080p, not even like 4K or anything like that. And I uploaded the video, and it was glitching. It had these it looked like old film that, when you watch like an old VHS or something that's kind of worn out or whatever, and it's got that little thing, lines that come through, and they show up and disappear and show up and disappear. And that happened to the video after I had it uploaded. I had to take it down and re-upload it. It had nothing to do with the actual video itself or the file itself. It just had to do apparently with, the actual upload. So I've never had that happen before, but it did. The closest thing I've had to that happen is when I've done car videos, and I had music, and I had a lot of other stuff, and I have had it upload where, to me, the sound, it was all messed up, and I took it down, actually re-downloaded because it was a heavily edited video, so I actually uploaded to my phone, and then uploaded that way. And it got rid of it, you know what I mean? But sometimes I guess some things get lost in translation when you're uploading videos. But yeah, it never happened to me like this on a live. But anyway, I guess, maybe I hit the wrong button. I don't know which one I hit. But anyway, but I hope everybody's doing well. So let me know about the gasoline prices, what the gasoline prices are, where you are, in the chat or after the fact. If you're watching this on the replay, let me know what the gas prices are like. So in the area that I was looking at earlier today, it's a little higher than it was last week. But then again, a lot of the assets are a little higher than they were last week too. Bitcoin's a little higher. It seems like some of the other paper assets and stuff like that are a little bit higher. So probably, gas follows that stuff sometimes. It's not like you're not going to have the market booming and gas going down at the same time usually. So I guess it's going to be all right though. So, but anyway, hopefully, hopefully it stays under $3 in this area. But a lot of times I have people from California that chime in, and it's like $4 or $5 or something like that. So that's pretty high. But I do the gas prices on the Monday midday lives because I can always look back, and it's like a gauge throughout the years. It'll end up being eventually, and I look at where the gas prices were at a certain time and the progress that they make. So anyway, all right. So, well, yeah. So I did a really good job of sharing out the stream last time, this time, and all of that, and now all that's gone because we had to start a new stream. So that sucks, but it's okay. So it's raining today. We've had it's kind of rainy out here. I'm going to DoorDash a little bit later on. I think hopefully the rain will be good for the DoorDashing situation. That's all part of the system. Building systems to go and integrate into my my little YouTube empire that we're doing. And I'll live stream. By the way, I'll sit here and I'll live stream until we get people here. That's what I'm going to do today. I'm going to live stream until we get more people in the house. We've got 1 or 2 people here now, which is awesome. Appreciate you being here. And we'll get some more people in soon. I hope somebody will show up. But I'm going to live stream today until that happens. That's what the Monday midday live is all about. We're just hanging out and all that stuff. So, but anyway, so the things we've been doing on the channel recently has been new car prices. Obviously, I'm going to explore a bit more of that. We might go to a dealership. Let me know if you think it'd be a good idea to go to a dealership and kind of check out the prices there. I think that'd be interesting. We rented a van last week, brand new Chrysler Pacifica S model, whatever, seemed to be the top of the line model or whatever, minivan. And I wasn't totally impressed. It had a lot of features. But I thought there were a lot of features that would probably lead to failure ultimately pretty soon, like not far down the road. Like, so the doors on those things, they open automatically and all this, and that's great. But the mechanism looked very similar to the mechanism in the older Chryslers, which apparently, and I've seen them having failed basically, where they don't work automatically anymore. I can imagine that happened into this same, vehicle, even though it's like brand new now. Give it 5, 6, 7 years of constant opening and closing. I could see that failing. The lift gate or whatever, also automatic. You know what I mean? You just hit a button and the lift gate opens up. And I could see that breaking in like 4, 5, 6, 8 years with use, right? I could see that breaking. Who knows how expensive that is? It was nice. It had cooled seats, heated and cooled seats. But once again, what happens when the cooled seats breaks? You know what I mean? Do you fix it? You don't fix that. You just keep going, right? Because you probably need a whole nother seat for the van. So it was nice, in a sense, because it was new, but it had all these features that I've seen break before, and it doesn't take that long for them to break, and it's just going to cause problems down the road. So it just seems like to me, that whatever, you can buy a new car. That's great, but you're going to probably end up with problems anyway. Hey, Kendra, how you doing? Welcome to the live stream. So I had a live stream set up. I had it scheduled. I shared it out, and all this stuff had the description and all that stuff that you do in the background that I never do. I had it all set up, and then I started the live, and it looked like a fisheye lens, like it looked like a wide angle lens or something. It was all distorted. So I was like, man. So I took it down, and now we restarted from scratch. So I'm waiting for people to show up. So I appreciate you being here. I hope the audio and the visual is good. But yeah, so we had to restart it. I'm sure some people will find the stream again. It's just not as good as when I have it set up and scheduled like that. It's crazy. You set it up, you schedule it, you do all the stuff, and then, you know, and you get in and it's not working out, and then you have to stop and then start from scratch. So here we are. But what I wanted to do anyway was, you know, since it's the Monday midday live, I'm just going to live, like I'm going to live stream until people show up. That's what I'm going to do. So, that's what we're doing. Building the small YouTube empire, the tiny YouTube empire in this little corner of the galaxy. How's it going, Kevin? Welcome into the house. Hope you're doing well. Thank you for being here. Welcome to the Monday Midday Live. This is the hangout where we can pretty much go anywhere we want with the conversation. And I was saying earlier, what I do later is for people who want to, thank you, Kevin, for people who want to watch the replay, what I normally do is, since we get, and Kendra knows this, we get into all kinds of different topics on here. You know, whatever we end up talking about, that's what the title will end up being later. So that way, so if somebody wants to come in and watch the replay, they kind of have an idea of what they're going to find. Maybe they don't even want to watch all that stuff, you know what I mean? But if there's something in there, some kind of topic that we talk about that they're interested in hearing, or hearing my take, or hearing what people are talking about, then you know, they can go for it. Otherwise, just like any other live stream, we're just going to hang out, and I'm just going to go live until I get, you know, I don't know, 10 likes, I don't know. We got 4 right now, so always a great conversation over here. Well, I appreciate that. Yeah, I do enjoy having the conversation, and you guys add to it immensely. There's a few people that have been coming through every Monday, and that's been pretty awesome. So I do appreciate that. It also keeps the channel alive, keeps the dream going. So yeah, so like just building this tiny little empire on YouTube, and it's been fun, and I appreciate you guys. So, you know, and everything that I do over here helps me to just propel everything that I do on the other channel too, because what I've been doing on that channel, a lot of the stuff comes from conversations we have here, but it's a lot more serious over there. And but you know, this channel's monetized, for example. That one is not. This one I have a good amount of subscribers over here. That one's just growing because it's like a month old. But I've learned a lot from over here, and everything we learn over here and everything we do over here helps me to do that one the right way. So I'm building that one out the right way, and I think it's going to make a big difference in the long run, right? But there's a place for both, because we're doing the you know, over here we're doing the car stuff, the exploring, everything adventure channel, and that's the more serious topics over there. Real Thoughts Project, Kevin, Real Thoughts Project, that's my second channel, and that's where I do a lot of more serious talks. So it's the talking heads only, pretty much talking head stuff over there. I just sit in the car, go for a walk, and chat about certain different topics. Some of them are heavier, some of them are not, you know what I mean? Some of it's just, I have a whole, I guess, syllabus, if you want to get serious. I have like a whole list of things that we're going to cover, that channel is designed to cover, and I haven't gotten most of it yet. So I have videos in my head, videos basically written down, and also sometimes the current events change things, and we end up turning a different direction because we have to talk about certain things having to do with current events, right? And it borders on the politics a little bit. It borders on the politics, but anybody that's talked to me for long enough or knows, you know, I'm not tied into the right-left paradigm so heavily. I have things that I believe. I think everybody kind of knows how I lean, but generally speaking, I don't think the right-left thing is always going to service the people, right? You know what I mean? So, but we're going to study a lot of different stuff over there, so it's interesting. Definitely feel free to check it out if you want to. Real Thoughts Project. But I appreciate you being here, sharing the stream on Reddit. I have no Reddit presence, so anybody that comes from over there is brand new to my channel, and I appreciate it. So that's awesome. But yeah, you seriously like your other channel. Love your other channel. Thank you, Kendra. I do appreciate that. The new mic is sounding good. Thank you for the feedback. I need feedback on it because this is something I'm going to be using probably in that other channel where I do a lot of the talking head stuff, because I need it to sound good. I want it to sound good enough to where it doesn't like drive people away instantly, Like if I just made the videos on my phone, I feel like some people would not even be able to hang in and hang out because the sound would be so bad, you probably just wouldn't even want to. So I had to upgrade, but I didn't have $200 to spend on the DJI. So this is a Hollyland Lark A1, if you're interested, if you think it sounds good. And it has different settings. It has an app. So right now I actually have noise cancellation on because it's kind of windy out here. But it has different levels. So I have the lowest level because I hate the sound. I'm starting to learn about mics a little bit. Not very technologically advanced over here. But I have learned that the sound is a little bit robotic when you go with the heavy noise cancellation. But the cool thing about this mic is it has a lighter level, like it has medium, I guess more and less noise cancellation. So I have it on the very lowest setting for that. So you can still kind of hear stuff, but it's mostly my voice. But anyway, I appreciate the feedback on that because I'm trying to improve things over here. You got to improve things when you're building the smallest YouTube empire in the world. We are on the outer rims of the galaxy. So hopefully, nobody bothers us while we build. We can do our thing. You don't want to get famous overnight. You don't want to get famous on YouTube, probably period, to be honest, for most people. It's nice when you can stay small and you can build a community. That's like the sweet spot. And I think that's where I want to be, both with this channel and the other channel and stuff like that. Occasionally there's things that I'll probably do on this channel that reach out pretty far. Same with the other one, really. But I do want to build like a solid core community so that we can all have the benefits of it. A lot of the stuff that I talk about over there stacks on itself. So over time, what we're doing is like I started, the first channel was it's never too late to start, or it's never going to be a perfect time to start. And the whole idea with that was, people are always like, well, I'll wait until this happens, or I'll wait until that happens. And, this comes through, or I have this money, or I have this thing. It's just never going to be a perfect time. So it's better to go ahead and try to figure out what you're going to do and do it, and get started doing it, or at least make moves towards that. Even like having children, and I've heard this before, it's a terrible world to bring children into, and blah, 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 blah. But it's always been a rough world. It's like always been a crazy world. Like look at history, man. Look at history, dude. It has been wild this whole time. It's just that, there's a lot of fairy tales and stuff out there. But if you really look at it, it's never been what people would consider like a really good time to have children and bring them into the world, right? But we've had to do it for our survival over this centuries, right? And millennia, really. So anyway, that's what you got to do. You got to go after it, no matter what. Most of the things said along those lines have been said for decades. Yes, exactly, Kevin, exactly. So it's nothing new that the world is wild and crazy, and that there's violence and there's all this stuff. I mean, it's sad. It's not something I'm happy about necessarily, but it's the nature of the world we live in. This place is kind of like a crucible, and it's refining us. And you can't refine things without heat, without a little controversy, right? So that happens as a feature of this world, and it's not something we can sit here and wait for a time when it's not going to be happening, because it's probably not. If it was a time, I mean, in America where I live, it would be probably when I was growing up. We had a really nice time, but even then there was wars going on overseas and things like that. So it's crazy. But I have a nasty raw chicken hand, so won't be able to chat for a bit. Still here though. Okay, cool. Thank you for being here. Chicken, sounds good. Probably making something good over there. Some, so everybody always talks about food. I guess it's that time of day. And I usually have one meal on Mondays specifically. It looks like this. I have a meal in the morning, but it's kind of late. And then, I don't really eat much. And I go out, I do my shopping for eBay and stuff, because I do that every morning, because that's the day that it's a good day to go to this particular bin store that I go to on Mondays. And then I come and I do the live, right? Well, I don't eat in between that time. So now we're looking at, it's 4:50. I'm a little late today, and I haven't eaten yet. So it is what it is. And then everybody else is making dinner and doing all these things and talking about it. And it makes me hungry, man. It makes me hungry. But the cool thing is, after the live, I'm going to go get something to eat. So But anyway, you know it. Yeah. So anyway, yeah. So that's how it is. So that's why I did that. I started that as the first video over there, and then I moved into some other different stuff, just different topics that I wanted to lay as a groundwork. And so hopefully eventually we're all on the same page after watching the video. You can watch the videos like I think I have a playlist. It's called Free Your Mind, but it goes backwards. So I guess it goes newest to oldest. I should probably switch that from oldest to newest, actually. Maybe I'll think about doing that. But anyway, there's a certain method to it. But eventually, if I live long enough and everything else being the same, there will be, hundreds of videos over there, kind of a catalog of things, and each thing should stand on its own unless it's just a current event. Current event stuff, kind of sometimes becomes less relevant, but it depends on how you look at it too. Because if we're talking about historical things, like things that have been happening recently, I would say are historical in scope. If somebody would talk about that in the sense of the historicity of it, that would be something that would be relevant for quite a while, because these things matter. We're looking at the reshaping of society happening all the time right now, which is really wild, which is another reason why people say, I don't want to start this and, until things calm down. Things are never going to calm down, probably. Hopefully we're wrong. Hopefully I'm wrong and things do calm down and things get a lot better. But no, we're just going to have to learn to live in the situation we have and to make the most of it. So that's a lot of what we're talking about over there too, just dealing with your personal life amidst bigger things happening. But anyway, so yeah. So let's see. Probably going to DoorDash here in a little bit. Probably going to do some, I don't know how long we're going to be live. We're at the 26-minute mark, 27 just about. I usually go for about an hour or two. I'll hang out until some more people show up probably. And yeah, it'd be cool to try to get like 10 likes on the video. I think we have 4. I think we have 4 likes on the video right now. 6? 5? I don't know. I'm seeing different numbers. But anyway, that's, yeah, see if we get 10 likes on the video. That'd be cool, right? So we'll just hang out. But I like doing live streams with lower amounts of people. Like I said earlier, you probably don't want to be like famous overnight. I think people do videos on YouTube thinking that they're going to blow up and get 1 million views or whatever. But the thing about that is you're not dealing with your organic audience. And so you'd have a lot of new people come in. I mean, I had this happen even with videos that get like 25,000 views or something. You're going to end up like with a lot of people that are, unless it aligns with the content you already make, like really good, you're going to end up with a lot of people that come in for that video, and then then now you have a lot of subscribers. And then if you do something different, the next video, they're not going to watch it, probably not going to watch it. So that's something to think about if you were trying to build your YouTube channel and you were like wishing for a viral video, because you got to be careful what you wish for, because if you get it, that's great, but then now you got to go from there. And so you might be dealing with a lot of subscribers that are there for the viral video that don't want to see the other stuff that you do. So it's just something to think about. I like the slow, steady growth, and that's what we're trying to do over on Real Thoughts. From the beginning, right? From the beginning, I've learned it now. So every video over there has, it correlates to each other. I mean, it's all related. It's like, so if you like one of the videos, you'll probably like, and probably binge watch. I've seen actually people binge watching the other videos, right? And so that's cool to see, because I don't have that as much on this channel because I'm all over the place. I'm doing the exploring, I'm doing the car stuff, car shows, drifting, I have all that. Sometimes working on the cars, but sometimes talking about other stuff. And when I started doing the talking head type videos about just life stuff, I realized I was like, man, it'd be better to have a dedicated channel just for this, because that way people that come in for these videos, they don't see the other stuff and they're like, oh, well, I'm not really as much interested in that, right? So you have people binge watching your stuff, which is awesome. So, but it is nice because like but you guys always are here hanging out on the Mondays. A lot of you guys show up pretty regularly, and I appreciate that, and that helps me a lot. And I still like the idea of having this channel be all over the place. This is the experiment channel. You guys are part of an experiment. I'm the guinea pig, though. You just get to watch. That's the great thing about it. It's like I'm the guinea pig. This whole thing is an experiment, and you get to watch it real time, right? If it ends up being a train wreck, you get to watch that. If it ends up being a massive success, you get to watch that too, which is cool. So I appreciate you being here for that, because I need people. You know, you have to have people watch, even if it's a train wreck. You have to have people watch it, or else it's not going to be. It doesn't mean anything, right? So I couldn't do it without you. It means a lot. So yep. So yeah, get the likes up. We're getting closer. Train wreck equals massive success. Well, so here's the thing, yeah, and so I have learned a little bit in life. I'm not as wise as some of you guys, because you guys are. I know some smart people through YouTube, and but I am learning that failures are actually, you know, that's how you learn, right? You fail, you gain the experience. And the little gems in life come from those experiences. And so you have to fail. You have to be ready to fail. Or you have to be ready to do cringe stuff. Like the other day on the live stream, I did, I don't know how you guys got me to do this. I kind of got myself to do it. But I was doing like impressions of, I think I did Trump. I think I did some other famous people, right? Whatever. And I'm doing impressions on live streams. Kind of cringe. But being able to do that is actually really good, because then now, once you have something serious to talk about, once you've you know, been able to break the ice on being kind of cringe online, then anything is on the table. Like, you're ready to do anything, and it's not that big of a deal. So if you want to do something serious, it's actually totally possible, and you've kind of practiced and you built those muscles up. And yeah, so train wreck, not so bad. And especially, so also it's social media. So technically speaking, and this is not my game, but a lot of people do really well being a train wreck constantly on social media. It's not really the aim of what I'm doing necessarily to do that, but some people do really well with that. So it's very interesting. So we got 6 likes, I think, 6 likes. So it'd be nice to get that to 10. That'd be kind of cool. It's just, I like to set a goal in life. So that'd be a cool goal for today. Get 10 likes. That'd be really awesome. So we'll just hang out. We're gonna hang out until we get that. I'm watching this rain to see if it's gonna move in. It's kind of sprinkling here, but it's not really raining. But I'm watching it to see if it's gonna get heavy. That would be interesting. It's gonna be live streaming in the rain. It'd be interesting to see if you guys hear it on the microphone too. So we might get that opportunity. Hopefully we do. But yeah, so. But I hope everybody is doing well. I wonder if we're making a recipe for a video. I wonder if Kendra is making something that's going to be like on a video later. That'd be cool. Some of those keto friendly recipes are mostly meat and cheese recipes. I really like those, man. Those are great. Once again, they make me hungry. I'm talking about food and getting hungry again. But yeah, dude. So we got that channel, and the crazy thing is, and so I have this trait of wanting to do. I'm really good at starting things, pretty decent at maintaining them. You know, it's like I have this channel in a way where I should probably be just like really hammering videos, and I'm not, because I'm working on my new project. But it's here. I want to keep it alive and be here for you guys while I'm doing the Monday midday lives. But it's interesting because I'm kind of toying with the idea of actually doing a 3rd channel. And I know that sounds crazy, but I have a vision for how it can happen with like a lot less friction than a lot of these other videos, where it would be pretty easy for me to do maybe 5, 6, 8 videos at a time. And I could do these videos on this channel, and I may do some as like an experiment, but yeah, because I thrift and because I find cool things and because I like knives, I'm thinking about setting up a channel that's specifically for like knives and Hot Wheels, and then cool like antique things that I thrift and find and acquire. either to buy or sell, or either to keep, as a collection. And I try not to collect anymore as much. I really don't collect a lot because I don't have a lot of room to keep things, and I'm not trying to be like a captive to my things, but I find cool things in the thrift store all the time and I sell them along. But sometimes while they're in my possession, it'd be really cool to do a video on those things. I could do that here, but I am thinking about doing a channel specifically for that, because I think I could film like five or six videos at a time, and then just schedule them, and just let that go and see how it does. You know what I mean? And some of the stuff that I nerd out on, like so I'm like a huge Star Wars fan, even though I have mixed feelings about where it's gone with Disney and stuff. Whatever. Let me know what you think about it in the chat. But you know, I've always wanted like a lightsaber. I've never had like a real lightsaber, not like a real lightsaber, but like a lightsaber that's like a NeoPixel or something like that. And I've been thinking about, because my oldest daughter is into Star Wars, and so I've been thinking about getting one so that she can play with it. But it would be cool because I'll be able to live. I mean, I know you're not supposed to do this, but I would be able to live a little bit vicariously through her, but I would be able to play with the lightsaber myself. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I'm thinking about that, and I was like, man, what would I do a video on that? And this channel I'm talking about building, it would be a perfect place to take video of that and show something like that, or those type of things. Or, I still have certain Star Wars things that have been put up, away in boxes that I had when I was younger. And like I was so much of a Star Wars fan back then that I actually built lightsaber hilts. I have a couple lightsaber hilts that I built. They didn't look great, you know what I mean? And they don't look like the movie. They were custom. They were like my custom stuff. I took cues from the movie, similar things, but I had like an aluminum tube that I turned into a lightsaber. And I had like I used a door chime for one of the controls on the side, and then like some different stuff. And then, different stuff like that, right? It'd be cool to show that stuff too, I guess. But, this channel just doesn't seem like the place to do it. So, anyway. All right. All right. So, yeah, I'm going to stay live, man. I'm going to stay live for a little while longer. I can at least hit the hour mark. So if anybody has anything they want to talk about, definitely feel free in the chat, and we'll rock and roll. This probably won't be as replay friendly of a live stream. Sometimes it's like that. I noticed when I did the vertical live, a lot of people hop in and out of there. You get more trolls, but people hop in and out. You get a lot more views. It probably reaches a lot more people, which could be interesting to do. Probably a good way to hang out. I may try to do that in the next few days. Maybe I'll do that. Do another vertical live, but I like them to be replay friendly if we talk about anything interesting, and then if we don't, then it is what it is. Then we're just hanging out. I'm cool hanging out too. That's fun. Hold on one second, guys. Actually, I'm gonna do something real quick. All right. Yep. All right, let's share that out there. Sharing it out. Building the empire. 3 people in the house. 3 people watching. I appreciate you guys being here. All right. All right, there we go. All right, got that done. Okay. All right, but yeah, so ended up being something a little different than what it was going to be, because we were all set, man. I was all set. So I got to get better at scheduling these out, but then I'm concerned now because I scheduled that out and then the settings something was off. I don't even know how I could get the video to look like that. It would probably be cool to look like that if I was exploring somewhere and walking through, but it doesn't look so good. The wide angle, it doesn't look so good if I'm just sitting in the car. And I'm not even sure if that's what it was, a wide angle. Not sure. But yeah. So back to the cars. That van was nice, but everything about it screamed, I'm going to be in the junkyard in less than 10 years, you know? And so I couldn't bring myself to think about buying one. It was, I looked it up. So brand new, the van, it retails around $40,000. So this is that average price for the payments that we talked about last week, $750 a month. So, you know, I thought about it. I was like, this is what $750 a month does. And then by the time you get it paid off, just in my opinion, by the time you get paid off, you probably would end up with a lot of problems. Like a lot of those things are going to fail on the van. And then now you've just paid the thing off, but now you've got a lot of repairs to make, right? So it's you know, it's tough. And it just seems like they made cars a little bit better back in the day. Like they made cars last longer. I mean, it's just like if you're going to open the door, the lift gate yourself, you know, there's hydraulics to where if you open it, it just lifts up. And they can go bad, but they're easy to fix. But if it's going to like do it on its own, like with a motor, now you're talking about a whole nother can of worms when it goes down. I don't know how hard those are to replace, but it's like, dude, why not just do the hydraulics where when you lift the button up or the handle up, the lift gate just rises up, right? That already existed. That was something that already, and yes, they fail, but it's easy to fix. I mean, I have a video doing that on my old Jeep. It's like a 5-minute job most of the time. So that's not that big of a deal. Not that big of a deal. You know, and I just don't understand. It's a technology that already works, but now they put a motor in there in the way, you know, in the way, right? Like it's in the way because it already worked. The hydraulics worked, you know, and they were cheaper and easier to replace. So it just doesn't make any sense. The cooled seats were really cool. I mean, definitely it's nice. I don't mind renting nice vehicles like that for trips, for long trips especially. And I think that's the way to do it. That's the way, like if you want something really nice, like they're really new with all the features that still work, just rent something. And then, you know, it wasn't a week, but it was like 350. I don't know how much it was. It was 340, 350 for little less than a week. So I think it was like a Monday to Friday. I don't know what it was, but it really wasn't terribly expensive, especially if you're going on a long trip, to do that, just to have the, you know, not having your own vehicle out there doing it. But I mean, at the end of the day, it's like if you want all those features, that's good. I just don't think a lot of that stuff's going to work. I've seen a lot of those vans with those features that don't work like 10 years down the road. So they're kind of disposable, man. The cars are disposable, it seems like. But I don't know. Oh, I'm sorry. I missed this comment. Vertical live streams bring in viewers and subs from Shorts feed. I'm alternating on my personal channel. Okay, that's smart to alternate back and forth. Yeah, so I like the, like I said, I like the Monday midday lives because it's just us. It's just the people that are here usually, and sometimes not as many people show up, and sometimes way more people show up. I've noticed a lot of times people show up after you've been live for like an hour, right? So that happens, but that's probably my fault because I'm not good with scheduling. But that being said, it's usually the same type, like my subscribers for the most part, and I like that. But then again, it is nice to go reach out and have some new people come to the channel, especially this channel since it's all over the place, right? So I'm not against doing the vertical lives. I think they have a good place. I've seen people on there on the vertical lives just chatting, and like, you know, hundreds of people are in there. I don't know if those are all real people or if they're bots or whatever, but I'm definitely seeing that happen. And so I imagine if you were just in a hurry to grow your channel, you could probably get on the vertical lives and just stay on the vertical lives all day and probably grow the channel pretty quickly. I don't know what the cost of that would be to your regular videos, if those people would actually watch the regular videos or not. You know what I mean? It's like different people have different attention spans. And so there's the people that watch the short feed, and there's people that watch the the horizontal videos, the long form, and all that stuff. And it's just a different crowd, right? Different crowd. This rain has me thinking about like taking a nap. I'm not gonna do it though. I'm not gonna do it. Not gonna do it. I'm gonna get some food though here in a little bit. So let's see what the price, just for fun, let's see what the price of Bitcoin is. Why not? Shall we? See what the price of Bitcoin is. Because I just said that all the assets, or a lot of the assets, were up, and we were talking about gas, but Bitcoin is one of those assets that sometimes does go up along with the stock market. Come on, there we go. Got to get the chart up. Got to pull up the charts. I can't share it. I'm not screen share. I do need to learn that though. That's a talent that I need to learn, is the screen share. We could have a lot more fun with lives if we could screen share. Of course, I'm just using a phone setup right now, so I probably had to get a computer. I was going to turn that camper into a studio, but I've been having internet access issues over there. So it's not as live friendly. I don't know if I'd be able to do the lives, because I'd rather go live in the evening. The problem is I don't really have a studio set up in my house. I've got a lot of little kids. Of course, at a certain point, they were all in bed, so maybe I could live stream after that. But yeah, if I were just to sit in the car late at night, man, the lighting would not be so good, right? It probably wouldn't be so good. So I'm just trying to figure out some things we can do for that. Let's see here. All right, the price of Bitcoin as of right now is $114,368. So that's up about $3,000 from where we were a few days ago. Pretty good. Ethereum's at $4,226. Let's see, XRP $2.90. XRP's wild, man. It had that crazy run for a little while. And it hit, what did it max out? Let's go look at XRP and see what it maxed out at. Just gonna nerd out on the charts here for a minute. So XRP actually hit 2, 3, okay. Yeah, but how much is that? It hit $3.40-ish, $3.40-ish, give or take. So that's pretty wild. So it was in the threes. I think it went higher than that. I'm trying to find where it topped out. No, it was over 350. Over 350. So it had this early on. It had this run. And when was that? That was in dang, when was that? Oh, 350. I'm trying to find it. Hold on. This is not easy on the phone. But anyway, yeah, XRP was in the threes, like high threes for a while there. And now it's sitting under $3, but still $2.90. It was sitting at like what, 60 cents for years, under 60 cents, which is wild, dude. So yeah, I mean that's already right there is an incredible gain. You don't see that in the stock market very often, right? I'm wondering if this stuff's going to crash. Like how far it's going to, I mean, there's cycles, right? So it goes up and then it goes up to a certain point and then it crashes and always does that. And I'm just wondering how far is it going to go down when it goes down next? You know what I mean? There's some people that think it's going to be like a forever cycle, like what they call it, a super cycle, that Bitcoin is not going to actually go down that much. But I don't know about that. I believe in cycles. I think they play out every time. So I would say that, but I don't know, you know what I mean? Like I'm not giving any kind of advice. This is just all speculation, but I would think that it's going to probably go down pretty significant when it does. But from where is the question, and obviously when is the question, and nobody knows really the answer to that. But cycles I do believe cycles are very important, and I think they play out pretty well. So I don't know, just something to be watching, man. Something to be watching. But if you bought at the bottom of the cycle, you're doing really well right now. So right, it feels good. Thinking like, you know, when FTX crashed and stuff, if you were buying that, man, that's awesome. Like you're doing awesome right now. If that's where you were, if that's what you did. Let's see here. So yeah, for over $14,000. We'll see where it goes from here. Just interesting to watch. A lot of people think that there's going to be like a new monetary system, you know, that the dollar is going to die out. And you know, I don't know if this is going to happen. I don't think it's going to happen overnight, but they're probably not wrong in the sense that there has been no actual monetary system that's ever lasted forever. You know what I mean? Like in history, there's never been even like the Roman coins and stuff like that. And there was a time when I think there was more silver, and then they started like putting more metals in, and then putting more metals in, like, and changing it over time to where there wasn't like that much silver at all in the money, in the same denominations. So, you know, even that over time, the dollar, it would be about the same equivalence as that happening, right? Like back in the day, you know, you look at the dollar and you had the four quarters in 1960. Yeah, 4, I think it is. They changed it. But 4 quarters for $1. And every quarter right now, let's look up the price of a quarter right now, a silver one, right? A partially silver quarter. So the price of a junk silver quarter. Price of a junk silver quarter right now is, okay, the scrap value price. Okay, based on the spot price of $45-ish, which is wild. The scrap value price of a quarter is $8.31. So that used to be 25 cents. And it still technically is. I have found silver quarters in, you know, change and stuff. But back in the day when I used to work in pizza shop and I worked at the register, I actually was handed silver quarters sometimes. I didn't always realize it at the time. I would always go back and check. But I actually found several silver quarters, and it's like 90% silver. They call it junk silver. And I would find those and I would keep them, right? Of course, I would change them out or whatever with my own money. And I keep those suckers, man. And now they're worth $8.31. Isn't that wild? $8.31 for a quarter. So it was 25 cents. Now it's $8.31. You know what I mean? Pretty crazy. So yeah, that's something we should probably talk about that. Probably should talk about that on the other channel, honestly. I think that's a good thing to think about because the devaluation of the dollar, that's a lot of valuation gone, just gone. And I'm sure it's worse than that. You know, they used to have gold coins, right? And, you know, you wouldn't even think about having gold coin today. But that 1 quarter, 25 cents is now, you know, just scrap value, $8.31. So we're kind of doing the same thing because they took those out of circulation. Then the metals that they put in the other quarters are not, you know, are not valuable at all. And of course, one day they'll probably be more valuable than the 25 cent too, because the 25 cent would be less valuable to so much of a degree, right? So it's interesting. It's interesting. Let's see. I just want to change that up. Yeah. So yeah, the scrap value of the metals that used to make our money, even the pennies. Let's look that up. Let's look up a penny and see what a copper penny. I think it was is it 1982 that they moved removed the copper from the pennies. So let's look that up. Scrap value of a copper penny. Now this is 1 penny, what used to be 1 penny in copper. And I want to, sometimes you have to update this because you have to say right now because the prices are different, right? Not that you can sell, by the way, pennies and quarters for scrap. I don't think you actually can. I don't think it's legal because they're tender, so you're not able to actually technically melt that down. But a lot of people, it's like whoever's holding a bag at the end of the day, they want it to be the metals, not the money. So melt value in 20 right now. I want to see it right now. It says 3 to 3.5 pennies. So I don't know if that's actually at today's prices. That's what I'm trying to find right now. But 3 to 3.5 pennies. So it's 3 times the value of what it was. And I don't think they made those things out of copper to necessarily have copper scrap metal value. That wasn't the whole idea. Not like with the silver coins. Well, I guess they might have, but it's not like with the silver coins where they're like, oh, we're going to do 90% silver, and that's going to be the value of the actual thing. You know what I mean? And it's going to be equal to 25 cents or whatever, or the $half, or the dollar, silver dollars. Like a silver dollar right now is probably what, like I said, 45. It's probably $50. Probably $50. I don't know if you were to buy a silver dollar right now. I haven't bought any silver dollars. I used to buy the Morgan silver dollars, but the last time I think I bought a silver dollar, the spot price of silver was like $14. So I haven't done that in a long time. Probably should have been doing it, but let's look up a Morgan silver dollar, just a junk silver. And see how much that is. Now, some of it's numismatic value, but some of it is, okay. Is this correct? $42? I don't know if that's correct or not. Dude, I'm saying it's going to be more than that. Let's just see if we can buy one. Let's go buy one. Let's go shopping for a Morgan silver dollar. Okay, circulated, 90% silver, moneymetals.com, US Mint. Let's go to well, they're a little bit more expensive. Oh, AppMex, they're a little expensive too, but let's go to AppMex right now. Morgan Brilliant uncirculated. Random year would be $58.32. $58. But if you're looking like $45 at the least, man. $45 at the least. Maybe 40. I don't even think 40 is realistic because we're at like $45 spot price right now. So let's look at the silver price then. Why not? $47. My goodness, dude. We're gonna hit 50. We're gonna hit 50 pretty soon. That's crazy, dude. $47 spot price for silver. Guys, that is wild. When you think about the spot price was $14 not long ago. Like, I feel like it was yesterday. I was buying, like I said, Morgan silver dollars, junk silver, and the regular rounds, man. I mean, I stopped buying around $28. But that's wild, dude. Now we're going to be almost double that very soon. It's crazy. So I'm going to stay live for a little while. I think I'm going to stay live. We're about to hit the hour mark. We'll see how this goes. I'll stay live for a little bit longer, see if anybody wants to hang out. And, yeah. Stay live for a little bit longer. Let's see. So we're looking at silver price. Might as well look at gold price while we're there. That's been soaring, dude. It's been going crazy. So silver price was it's $47 an ounce, which is wild. So gold is $3,862. I remember when it was like 17. It seems like it was just yesterday. $1,700. Is that twice? 17 times 2 be 2. Yeah, it's over twice. Over twice the price. So gold is over doubled in the last, let's look at it. Let's look at this. Let's look at the 5 year. Okay, in 2023, it was 1,800, goes all the way down. So we hit a low at like a 17, I remember it was like 1,700 about 2022. And now it's going to hit almost $3,900. This is wild, guys. So for gold, so that's crazy. So is that the devaluation of the dollar, or is that gold value going up? You know what I mean? How do we look at that? I don't know. I think it's a combination of both. But I think that gold is never going to be more valuable than it ever was. I don't know if this is true, guys, but somewhere I read or I saw that, you know, it's like the amount of gold that would buy a house today is the same amount of gold that would buy a house in the 1800s or even beyond and back, because the gold value is basically the same in trade. But in terms of dollars, obviously it's skyrocketing, and I would be wondering if that's the dollar going down in value. You know what I mean? So that's what I'm thinking. Let me know what you think in the chat, guys, about that. I don't have a lot of gold, man. I don't have gold, period. Like, I might have a gold necklace somewhere, you know what I mean, or something. I might have a couple little items that have a little gold plating. But I don't have a whole lot of gold. You know, that's what you do when you max out your silver and then you go trade that for gold, right? When silver starts getting heavy. My silver's not even heavy, dude. So, yeah. But let me know if you like the precious metals in the chat. 47.11, man, that's crazy. So yeah, we'll hit $50 at some point. I mean, should I start thinking about selling some silver? I don't know, dude. Is it going to just continue to go up? There's a lot of people that are like into silver and they're like, man, it's going to go to $100 and all this. I don't know. You know, eventually, probably. But that's going to happen before it has a dip. I don't know. You know what I mean? These things also dip in price. You know what I mean? Things happen like that. So not as severe as Bitcoin. You know, I think Bitcoin went from almost 70,000 last cycle to below 20,000 at the low. Below 20,000 at the low of the between cycles. So yeah, that's a pretty drastic drop, but it's a great drop if you're ready to buy it at that price and willing to wait for the uptick, because you got to wait like 3 or 4 years sometimes. But anyway, I appreciate you guys being here. Looks like we got 3-4 people in the house. I got 6 likes, something like that. Trying to get it up to 10. Trying to get it up to 10 likes. That's the goal for the day. So see if we can get that going. Appreciate you guys hanging out. Monday midday live's kind of quiet. It's a little cloudy. I didn't really get a lot of items at the bin store, so we're just going to kind of keep on moving with the day. We're going to keep doing some. We're going to do some DoorDash later. Try to make some couple dollars here and there, and just try to make the most of the day. Really, that's what we're going to do. You know, this is what I like about having multiple things and part of a system, is because if one thing doesn't work out, like the bin store today, it was just kind of picked over, and sometimes they get like hauls of good items, and sometimes they don't have good items on deck, and it's just how it is. You're not always going to walk out of there with something. I walked out of there with some items that I already have, so they're going to be repeat. I'll just throw them in the inventory. So that's good, but it's not always going to be like knocking it out of the ballpark every time. But consistency, you got to show up. If you don't show up, you're not going to get the when there are the good times. You know what I mean? I used to tell that to the guys when I used to deliver pizzas, right? I would deliver every night almost. And I'd have some nights where I'd make like $150, $200 in tips. But then there was nights we made like 40 or 50, right? And so the guys always wanted to complain, and they always wanted to like go home early and this, that, and the other. And I was like, dude, if you don't have anything else going on, if you have something else going on, by all means. But if you don't have anything else going on, then the best thing you do is just show up. You're not going to get those $200 days. You're not going to get, whatever. If you don't show up, if you're not there, if you're not here, you're not gonna get paid. So if you don't take the delivery, you're not gonna get a tip, right? So you got to show up. That's whatever. That's something I was thinking about. Let's see here. Yeah, man. So anyway, not a whole lot going on, guys. We're at 1 hour and 4 minutes. But I appreciate everybody being here that has been here this long. We'll see if we'll hold out. We'll see if some more people show up. Probably not going to be one of those rewatchable videos. Probably not going to be very big for the replay here, but that's okay. A lot of times just want to hang out. Got people driving through the parking lot here like they own the place. Like it's a racetrack. All right, guys. Well, look. So we're at 1 hour and 5 minutes. Probably going to wrap it up here. We looked at the price of Bitcoin. We looked at the price of silver, the price of gold. Talked about new cars. The new car we rented and how it's probably going to fall apart in 10 years. $750 a month for somebody. It's going to be wild. They're gonna enjoy those payments and those repairs in the future. Unless you lease the car. Somebody did say something about leasing the car on one of my videos, and I do appreciate that. Like if you're gonna have it, if you want to have a new car all the time, probably better to lease it. Yeah, but that's that. What else do we talk about? YouTube channels, building a small YouTube empire. You're not always going to hit the hardest on your YouTube channels. It's not always going to be the best, but better to go ahead and build, because if you build it, if they can't show up if you don't build it. So if the dude in Field of Dreams had never built that field, a lot of things with that movie never would have happened, right? Even though the movie was not real, obviously. But anyway, so I was hoping to get to about 10 likes. I think we're at 6. Should I keep streaming? Should I keep streaming until we get to 6 likes, to 10 likes rather? I don't know if we can do it. I know we can do it if I stay here long enough. If I stay here all day, people will show up. But I don't know if I want to do that. One time I live streamed for like 4 hours straight. It was between 4 and 5 hours. Did it at a racetrack, and it was crazy because I was all strapped up. I had the GoPro. I was live streaming from the GoPro, from the phone through the GoPro. And I had the phone for the chat, and I had another phone that I was filming a video at the same time as I was live streaming, and that was fun. It was really fun, and it was really crazy. I think the stream cut out a few times, like it wasn't the best service there, but nobody ever live streams from that place, so I was probably like the only person that's ever live streamed there. But it was fun. I had a blast doing it, and I was just there all day. Maybe 4 or 5 hours live streaming while filming the video, and it was great because people were just hopping in and out, and a lot of people liked the cars and stuff like that. So there's that. If you stay long enough, but also I had a lot of crazy stuff going on, like race cars and drift cars, people drifting all over the place, and it was fun. So we got a lot of good footage out of that, and also a good solid live stream. That was pretty awesome. But it's the longest live stream I've ever done. Most of the time we go about 1 hour to 2 hours, and we just hanging out. But it's easier when more people show up, because then we have something to talk about. So when I was talking about it earlier, I was saying like you definitely don't want to be necessarily famous on YouTube. It's still good to have like 5 or 6 people show up so that you have something to talk about in chat. You know what I mean? Because if not, you're kind of shouting into the void. But at the same time, you still need to do it. You need to show up. You have to show up. So this is me doing that. But let's look at one more. I'm going to look at one more thing real quick while you guys are here. or while I have the live stream up. Let's see. Man. So, one good thing is happening. One good thing is happening here. And that is, it appears that some of my videos are doing pretty decent on the other channel, which is nice to see. And I think a lot of that has to do with that binge watchability. Like they're all the same. Like, so if you like one of them, you probably like all of them. And so I see that is, that's having its domino effect. I think you can get a domino effect going. So that's good. That's good because there's a purpose behind all that. But so we got 6 likes in the stream, trying to get up to 10, trying to get to 10 likes. Everybody hit the like button. Appreciate you guys being here. Yeah, so I'm looking at the other channel right now. Yeah, that's good. That's good. So it's doing pretty good. I've had about a month. It's been going for about a month, and I got about 80 subscribers over there. So that's nice. That's nice. Rocking and rolling, building a small empire. Got 7 likes in the stream. I appreciate you guys doing that. 7 likes. I was about to hang it up, but I would like to get to 10. That'd be nice if we get to 10 likes. Because that's the goal for the day. So that's what we're going to try to do. So we were looking at the price of silver. We're looking at the price of gold. We're looking at the price of Bitcoin. Talking about the price of cars. We've talked about all that stuff today. It's been crazy. So hope everybody's having a good one. Feel free to go ahead and say what's up in the chat. And yeah, if you want me to talk about something, we'll talk about something. Ask me any question. I did my best to answer it. But otherwise, we're all just here watching the train wreck in real time, or the massive success, or as Kevin says, the massive success that a train wreck can be as time goes on. So yeah, but we got, I think, I'm seeing 7 likes. What are you guys seeing in the chat? You guys see, how many likes do you guys see? I see 7. We'd like to get to 10. That'd be dope. So, but yeah, so we're up to 80 subscribers over there, which is pretty cool. In a month, that's not so bad. It's good. It's good progress. 7. Thank you, Frog. Hope you're doing well today. Thank you for being here. You were number 7. Well, thank you for that. I appreciate it. We're trying to get to 10. I'm trying to get to 10. So you got me from 6 to 7, which is awesome. Would never be able to get to 8 without you. And hopefully that happens. If not, you know, whatever. But we're just chilling. We're just chilling. You're at work right now. Where are you working at? Where are you working at, Frog? I appreciate you being here, hanging out with me at work. I'm going to be working here very soon as well. I'm kind of in between work, depending on how you look at it. Work from home, that's what's up. Designing houses, man, that's cool. Designing like whole entire houses that are going to be built one day. That's awesome, dude. I'd like to design a house. I would need help with that. I'd probably need your help with that. That'd be cool. The framing and the foundation plans. Yep. Cool. That's awesome. Yeah, dude. One day I want to build a house. I want to, that'd be really cool. So land around where I'm at is, has gone way up because I'm near, not really a major city, but the capital city of the state. So like where I live is the outskirts of it. It's one of the, not outskirts, but the surrounding towns or whatever. So a lot of people live there and commute to actually the other city. I'm not too far from Raleigh and Durham, North Carolina. So those are 2 big cities, like major cities or whatever, and in the area. And so all the little towns around here, the price of the land is going up crazy, and the houses are pretty up there too. Yeah, but it seems to be that there are I see more on the market than ever right now. So, I don't know if that's going to change, or, if we stay away from hillsides and slopes. Seen so many horrors. So have you ever designed a house in the mountains? Because, dude, So we travel to the mountains of North Carolina and Tennessee a lot, and the houses are just built in these crazy places, man, crazy position, like literally on the side of a mountain, pretty much. You probably know. And I'm curious if you ever actually had to deal with that, or if you've done that, because it's really wild. Like you're talking about, and you can see them. You can see them just if you're driving and you look up and you're like, man, how did that house get there? How did they even get the materials up there to get that house up there? But the working conditions must have been crazy, and to actually like dig out like the basement and lay the foundation and stuff must have been wild. Dude, the foundation plans for hillsides are crazy, crazy calculations. Yeah, dude, because it seems like to me, if you get it wrong, it could be really wrong. Like, you know what I mean? When it rains, you're so afraid. Yeah, yeah, I can imagine that. And cause so we've stayed in some cabins, right? And it's a concrete foundation, I guess, in a basement down there. And then the rest of the house is built on top of that. And then you got like the porch, the really tall stilts, like basically, 20, 30 foot up. I mean, it's crazy because the front is at where you walk into the house, and the back, the porch is like 20 foot off the ground. So it's, I can imagine that's a nightmare. I guess that probably costs more to do that, really. But I guess people in those areas do that all the time. So maybe they got it figured out. You got to dig super deep columns sometimes. Yeah. I imagine. So I guess building that kind of basement with the cinder block, the way the cabins are done, there's cinder block at the bottom or whatever. And I don't know. I'm not a house expert, but they're like cinder blocks on the bottom, and they have the basement or whatever in there. And then the house obviously just built like up on top of that. So I guess when you lay the foundation, you have to get that stuff perfect so that you have this like good structure up underneath it. But that's wild. That's a wild job, man. It's pretty cool. Pretty cool. And you're working from home. So do you do a lot of that stuff on the computer? Some guy had an architect design his house in the way they wanted the floor level with the outside, so it feels like there is no transition between your house and nature. But then it rained and his house was full of mud. Yeah, seems like that's a problem, right? You got to grade it a little bit. You got to put something, maybe some kind of drainage all around it. You would have to have like a really good drainage system around it. His retaining wall failed. Yeah, that's pretty serious. It's like it's all well and good until the rain comes, and that makes sense. You know what's interesting is like the house that we live in right now. I live in a house that the pine trees have grown so much that sometimes I think about them like, man, it's not good because these things could fall. But I rent the house right now, and so I don't really have a say whether the trees get cut down, right, or not. But if I were to buy the house, or if it was a house that I owned, I would have cut these trees down a long time ago. And it's kind of a hazard. It's kind of crazy, dude. So that's another thing that's kind of an interesting, like, it's like have the trees growing really, and I like the trees. It's cool. It feels like I'm living on like, in a cool forest or whatever, and that's awesome. But at the same time, it's like pine trees they fall sometimes, like the tops break out and stuff, like during storms. And we have a lot of storms here in North Carolina. We have a lot of hurricanes. So yeah, it's something that's interesting. And sometimes the power does go out because the power lines are above ground where I live. They're all above ground, all over most of the state, and where they go next to the road, for example, the trees are far taller than the power lines. Weird, and they're taller than they are distanced, if that makes sense. So they're like, you know what I mean? You would think they would keep the height at a distance where if they fell, they wouldn't hit the line like this, but it's like this. So this happens a lot. Like if this is the power line, and this is the tree. That happens a lot. Power goes out, transformers blow, whatever. They got to do, change the parts and stuff, come out. Sometimes it takes a day or two to get the power on. I think the most we've ever had the power out for around where I live was like a week. Recently moved to Michigan, and houses are definitely built higher. This house that got messed up was in Cali. I don't think they were expecting. Yeah, the tree thing's scary. Yeah, it is because yeah, they fall. They fall sometimes. Like good pine trees are they're tougher than they kind of look, but at the same time they do fall. They get really tall. Um, you know, especially if you have some kind of pest or something that takes the trees out, like they takes out the structure of the trees. That happens sometimes in certain areas and locations. So you get these tall trees and they're getting like basically chewed up from the inside by like some kind of pest or disease or whatever. It just depends. And yeah, those are really susceptible, obviously, to falling. Yeah, this big tree fall on the power line. But yeah, we've had power outages for like good periods of time, and it's no bueno. It's not fun. So California, they weren't expecting the rain in California. Well, look, man. I mean, you know, can rain everywhere. Yeah, that's wild. California's a wild place. I haven't been out there in a while, but when I went, it was interesting. Um, I like the I like the wilderness area, the different wilderness areas of California. Not a big fan of cities, personally, but yeah, I haven't been in a few years, so yep. You got to build your house on a firm foundation. Michigan is way better than California, I'd imagine. Less jobs. So, what was Michigan? I imagine like Michigan. What are the big industries in Michigan? Because industries changed over time. I'll give you an example. So, there's a few towns near me here. There's several things that used to be huge, right? Furniture, textiles, and farming. Farming is still a thing, but but there's multiple towns that like the textile industry used to run the whole town. You see all the buildings used to be that. And there were other buildings there because there was other parts of industry that surrounded that. But then those textile industries were like outsourced, you know. A lot of people have their stuff made in Thailand, have their stuff made in Malaysia, other places, and then those towns, you know, they didn't all recover from that, and you can tell, right? And so they've had to pivot. They've had to pivot and do different things. And some of them they still do make textiles, but just not as much. You know, it's not as big of a deal as it was. And so you could see there's been like a different type of life, a different. It was a different life for that town at a different time, and so they've had to evolve. And so I wonder, you know, in different places around the world and around America, especially because I've seen a lot of towns that are just dead now. And I think they used to do this here. They don't do it anymore. And they're either surviving or not surviving. Transportation. Let's see if I can get that chat up here. Oh, nope. Transportation and water resources are big because of all the rain. Okay. But applying out here. But, oh, haven't had many bites. Okay. Yeah, interesting. So, yeah, Michigan. I've never been to Michigan, so that's a place that I've never been. I'd like to go. I've mostly been to the South, all over the South, right? I've been to, you know, Texas, Alabama, Florida, Georgia, all those, South Carolina, of course, North Carolina, Tennessee, the West Coast, California, Oregon. Never been to Washington. But yeah, so basically the coasts I've been to, but the lower parts, except for Oregon, it's probably the highest I've ever been on the, you know, in terms of on the map there. You like the slower pace, yeah. Well, what part of California were you in? Because there's, you know, there's like different, as you know, from being out there, there's so much different. It's kind of vast. Like I think everybody thinks about California, think of San Francisco, Los Angeles, but LA, oh my goodness, dude. So LA, I know I remember I used to be a kid and like look at the traffic in LA and I was like, dude, how do people do that? And then now here where I live, it's not that bad yet, but the traffic has started to get so bad here that it's like that. It's a lot like that, where it's like standstill sometimes, and it takes a while to get from place to place. It's still not LA level by any means stretch of the imagination, but but yeah, it's like gotten worse, and I'm like, man, I hope it doesn't get continually. Like, I would almost rather see. There's a lot of innovation this year with the Research Triangle Park. You have Duke. Duke is here, not here, but it's in Durham, and it's not far. And there's a lot of people coming in from all over the world. And I don't want to like stifle innovation, but it would be nice if it slowed down a little bit. You know what I mean? You said you had you drove it in your Corolla, 170,000 miles Corolla. Hey, I mean, look, Corollas, if you're going to be driving in that traffic, you need something that's good on gas. You don't want a V8, right? I'm sure a lot of people have done it, but that's wild. I just don't want to live that way. And so I actually at DoorDash and sell things on eBay for money. That's like the main things that I do. I do a couple other things too, but that's the main thing. And so I'm driving all the time. And so when I drive in the cities, like sometimes during 5 o'clock traffic, like right now, this is why I stayed on the live, because I was looking at the time. I was like, man, it's 5:51 right now, right? So in a little bit, I'm gonna go and I'll DoorDash a little bit. But during 5 o'clock traffic, during certain parts of the week and in certain parts of the town, I don't even want to turn the app on, because I know I'm gonna get like some $10 order going, right where all the traffic is a lot of times, and it's going to take forever. It's not going to be worth it. Better just to wait, take a nap, relax, go live, something like that, and then 6:30 to 10, just work like that, because the driving's a lot easier. This town used to be great to drive, and I'm in Raleigh right now, so that Raleigh used to be really good to drive, but it's not so good anymore. So it is what it is. It's not as good as it used to be, man, when it was not as big. It's the city of Oaks. They still have a lot of trees, so I'll give it that. There's trees everywhere. It's really cool. But the newer subdivisions and the newer apartment complexes specifically, they are not keeping the trees. So all the older apartment complexes, they have trees in between, like in the parking lots and stuff like that. Really cool, because you go into an apartment complex and it's still like being in a forest or whatever, and it's really nice. There's a lot of apartments around the lakes here, the different lakes and stuff. But the new apartments, every single one, they clear the whole area off. No trees whatsoever. They don't want any liabilities, I guess. But no trees whatsoever. It's just a barren like parking lot, and then they have the buildings, and they get as many apartments as they can get in the smallest building they can get, and the prices are more than they've ever been. It's crazy. It's pretty wild. It'd be nice to see the prices go down, but I guess, and it's weird, because I don't think that the population, it's just in this area that a lot of people are moving here. I don't think the population is necessarily increasing at a rapid pace compared to what it was in the 90s and early 2000s. I think it's just people moving to the certain areas. And so certain places seem to be seeing these huge booms. Now, I don't know about the regular job market out here, because I haven't had a regular job in a long time. But there's a lot of ways to make money on the low end. Like, a lot of people are DoorDash. And I talk to people sometimes, and they're like, yeah, I was a paralegal or whatever, and then I don't have a job now, or I was doing this, or I was doing that. I see a lot of that. I see a lot of people. And I've always kind of hustled, so I've always been in this place of like DoorDashing, selling things, maybe work. A lot of times I would like work a pizza shop and then go DoorDash after and before, and just putting it together, man. That's what I'm doing. But I see more and more people having to do that, having to put it together. So it's kind of weird. It's and then there's AI, and I don't know how long it's going to be before that takes a lot of jobs. Probably, not long in some cases. Although I don't know if I would trust AI. I've heard mixed things from people in the field that use it, where they don't really trust it so much to do things, because it can make mistakes. It's not infallible, and it's like, dude, if you have that thing running your company, parts of your company, and it makes a mistake, that's a pretty big mistake. Like, you know what I mean? Is that really worth not paying somebody $80,000 a year, something to do that job. You know, I guess it depends on the size of the mistakes, and but we'll see. The future is coming, and we're gonna see it. We'll see how it goes. Can't depend on anything. AI outside of small tasks. That's what I hear, man. That's what I hear a lot of people. I know. So I do a lot of odd jobs and stuff. Well, not odd jobs, really. It's all system. I have a system. I don't work regular jobs, but I have friends. I know people that work fairly high level jobs at different corporations and stuff. And I'm starting to hear where they're not very happy with the performance that they're getting out of some of the AI stuff. And it's like, man, maybe you shouldn't have fired those people or laid off those. They don't fire people, but a lot of people have gotten laid off already. In more simple positions mostly, but stamp projects, and if there's a mistake, you get blamed. Yeah, that's the thing. So, you know, you could delegate the process to AI if you want to, but at the end of the day, there's got to be somebody who's held responsible. If I hire somebody to do a job for me and the job isn't done right, I'm not gonna, it's not a good excuse, it's not an adequate excuse to say, oh, the AI messed up, right? Now that's your company. So that's your business. And so at the end of the day, it's like, do you want that representing your business, or do you want somebody who's a, you know, certified professional in that field that knows what they're doing, and also can just catch those little, sometimes they're just little mistakes, because this thing is not human. It's you know, it's an algorithm, basically. It's a glorified algorithm. So it can definitely make mistakes. It's not going to catch those mistakes a lot of times either, because it thinks it's right, because it's just doing the algorithm thing. So it's sketchy. Yeah, definitely it's sketchy. And I don't know. I think we may see a research, like a kind of a reversal on some of this, you know, where a lot of people are saying they're going to lose their jobs from AI and all this stuff. And some of the stuff there's simple things and tasks that the AI can do. But it's like a lot of people are talking about, well, I can just have AI draw up legal papers for me. Dude, I'm not doing that. If I did that, I would still want an attorney to look that over. And then in that case, why would I not just have the attorney write up the papers? Because, dude, if that AI makes a mistake, like, who's going to be liable in a court of law, right? It's going to be me. It's going to be, you know what I mean? So it's going to come back to hurt. The damage that could be done is pretty bad. Like asking it for personal advice. Yeah, I mean, look, it's okay. So for quick stuff and quick reference, here's how I see AI. And I don't even really use it for this right now, but I see it being potentially very helpful as kind of a search, basically a glorified search engine, where it's like, hey, I want to know, you know, what was the GDP of this country, in this particular country, in 1985. All right, whatever. And how is that compared to the GDP in 1990 and then GDP in 2005 of that country? Can you tell me the percentage changes over time and the patterns, whatever? Can you draw me up a chart, whatever? I feel like that kind of thing, AI could probably do that really well. Eventually it'll be really smooth and seamless, and you can just ask it things and get really good information. You may want to double check some of it real quick, but at some point that's going to be pretty foolproof. It's going to be a tool to use like that. As far as replacing an actual individual, I don't know. It can increase probably the ability of an individual to do his job, but he's going to have to check. You're going to have to check. Top-notch searching. Yeah, and I think that's the peak of it. Like, that's the best that I think AI is going to give us. If we're talking about, and I mean, I'm not in a position to like run the world or anything. I've only ever talked to like less than a handful of people who have ever been close to being in a position to be like running the world or whatever. But you know, militarily or government, whatever. But it just seems like to me, you don't want that thing in charge of a lot of things. But if you look at like Palantir, they're talking about basically solving crimes with it, using it to, it's kind of crazy. It's almost like some Minority Report stuff. I can't remember what they call it, but it's predictive. It's like predictive, and it can look through all of the, because there's so many cameras everywhere. There's much surveillance. We got the phones. We got people's mannerisms being mapped out on social media, things like that. and I guess they can pull all this information, use it, and it's like predictive or something. But I'm wary of that stuff. Like sometimes I feel like that might be the bridge too far. But humans have the trait of wanting to push it as far as they can go, and sometimes it ends up not being so good. You know what I mean? And we may have to just learn from it. We may have to learn from it. It's interesting. So in the book, has anybody ever read the books, the Dune books? I haven't seen the new movies, but I have read the three books, the ones that the original author wrote. And in those books, it's interesting because they have this thing. Man, what is it called? You haven't? Okay, well, it's an interesting thing because I can't remember it. Maybe I'll do a video on this like at some point, probably on the other channel. But they have they had a war. So in that book, they're space traveling and all this stuff. So it's very advanced. It's in the future. It's like, you know what I mean? They have spaceships. They can go long distances. They have different planets that they rule and all. But they don't use AI or computers to make decisions for them and stuff like that. They have these things called mentats, which are like augmented humans, but they're still people, or they're still, human kind of. And they're really smart or logical. They're basically designed in like... They're basically trained to be super logical and have the ability to help you make decisions. Basically, like what people use AI for today. And the reason it's like that in that universe, there's a little backstory that's given to it. I can't remember if it's the first or second book. Doesn't matter. But there's a backstory that's given that at one point in time, technology got to a point where, like, kind of like it is now, where there's AI. They don't call it AI, but they just said technology that emulates human thinking. And there was a war between the people who thought that was the way to go, that we should use that, and the people that thought that we shouldn't use that. And the people that thought that we shouldn't use that won, and they destroyed all of that type of technology. So you have technology still like spaceships and, all the tools of the trade or whatever, like different things that we use technologically to make things happen. Like we do today, but you didn't have AI. Basically, they eliminated it. Excuse me. They fought a war. They fought a war over it, and they eliminated the AI because it's crazy. Basically, imagine when robots start fighting. Yeah, that's gonna be. So they got that humanoid robot, and I think the dog ones are even crazier because they're like faster. But the thing is, they don't have to. They don't have to have the limitations that we do, right? Because they can make them any way they want. So they're just always going to be improving. World War III is going to be crazy. Yeah, I mean, some people could be arguing. I could argue that we're already in some aspects of World War III. But yeah, so World War III is crazy if you want to say that, because if you look over in like Ukraine, Russia, and stuff, they're having drones. A lot of different. Warfare is being updated drastically because of the use of drones, and even the robot dogs and stuff. They're drones, but they're not. They're not like making decisions on when to do things. I think they're being told to do things, or remote controlled, or programmed to do things. But at some point, it might get to that point, and I think that's like some of the stuff that Palantir was working on, where it's like this thing makes some decisions, some pretty serious decisions. And I can't help but think that that's like how Terminator started, right? I think it's like how Terminator started. It was the AI took over because they were at war or whatever, and then like the people were like, we need to stop the AI because it's dangerous. It's going to start pulling triggers and pushing buttons and stuff. And then the AI like fought back or something and destroyed most of humanity. Like, isn't that like, that's how Terminator started, man. So I'm just a little bit wary about that kind of stuff, right? Probably maybe because I grew up watching things like Terminator, but science fiction has a very interesting way of being predictive slightly, I don't know. Yeah, it's gonna be wild. It's gonna be interesting. I mean, look, in a way, we live in one of the most interesting times because We have cars, we have planes, we have not only cars and planes, but we have electric cars and planes, which is not as cool as I think that people thought it was going to be, actually. But whatever, it's going to evolve. It's going to probably get better. But I don't think people realized we were going to have to like strip mine half the planet to get our resources to make the batteries to make the electric cars work. I don't think people thought that out. There was the whole like, conspiracy theories around electric cars and stuff like that back in the day. What happened to the electric car, all that. But I think people didn't realize the resource heavy requirement for the electric cars, right? And wars will be started over that. I think a lot of things have happened over that, right? Where the lithium and where the cobalt and probably cadmium. There's other elements to the batteries that are required, and there's going to be conflicts over places that have that stuff and where we can get it. I think one of the parts of the thing about Ukraine, like our president was talking about, was the rare earth minerals deal he was trying to do with Ukraine. And that was because, we got to compete with China. They're embedded all over the world, getting their rare earth minerals, and probably out of their own country as well. And yeah, it's just a thing, and when you start talking about electric cars and possibly electric planes, and it's just a different conversation. It's not like, oh, we're just not using gasoline now, so everything's perfect. You open up a whole new can of worms. Because nothing's free in this world. So very, very, very interesting. I'm not anti-electric car, by the way. I realize that I'm a realistic person when it comes to that. I kind of have done a lot of research on that. And I realize that it's costly. It has its own cost. Not against it. I think it's probably going to be something we're going to innovate one way or another. But it's going to be... it's going to come at a cost early on. All right, so let's see where we're at. We're at the 1 hour and 41 minute mark, guys. So, sometimes I usually cap it out around 2 hours. I went to a car museum and they had an electric car from 1920s. That is correct. I was shocked when I found that out. Don't know why they didn't get pushed. Yeah. So in cities, it might have worked. I think they didn't have the infrastructure. I think a lot like now. If you think about it, now, we don't really have in a lot of places. So where I live, for example, if you're in the city where I'm at right now, plenty of infrastructure as far as chargers, things like that. When you go out from the city, you pretty much got to go to a Walmart because they're the only places that are going to have that. You know what I mean? There's no charging stations in a lot of the parking lots. So you have to go from Walmart to Walmart, which you can do. It's doable. But it's not as convenient as gas yet. But you would have to build all that infrastructure. And I don't know if they had it. I don't know if they had it available then. And then you had the battery problem. Thought about it might have been because big oil companies wanted to create an industry that revolved around them. Well, and I think I'm not saying that's not the case, because that probably is in a lot of ways. If you go, something else that I learned when I was going down this rabbit hole is that by the 80s, the biggest battery designs, which are similar to what we use today for electric cars, were being designed, the patents were being held by major oil companies. So what's happening now is you have major oil companies that are invested in these rare earth minerals and things like that are needed for the batteries. So here's the interesting thing about it is that if we thought we were going to get away from those companies, we're not getting away from those companies. The difference is now that we're going to be yoked to those companies and the power company as well. And I don't see the power bills going down. You know what I'm saying? So once people get onto the electric car, it's going to be the power bill thing. Now, if we'd have gone like the Tesla route, if you go down that rabbit hole, he had some other ways of producing energy, apparently. I don't really know about that. Like, I can't verify any of that. A lot of people believe he had like free energy. I don't think there is any free energy. There might be far more efficient levels of energy, though. Um, but yeah, maybe there's a better way. But is that going to be something that's guarded by the energy companies? You know what I mean? Like at that point, it's like, dude, if you have a nuclear power plant, if it is free, they'll find a way to charge us. That's right. That's what I'm kind of getting at. If you have a nuclear power plant, like those things put off a ton of energy. Like they put off so much energy. Like a lot of times it's a lot. It's like more than you need. So the prices continue to go up, right? And it's just interesting to me. It's like one time you build that thing and you get it started, and then you just have to maintain it. And I assume that's what we're all paying for in a lot of cases, that or coal or whatever kind of energy it is. Because keep in mind, the electric car is run on either nuclear or coal or whatever source that you're using. Probably not solar, because those big fields, they don't produce enough solar to keep everybody's cars charged. Probably not windmills, right? I saw some windmills when I was out there out west. It's a crazy. They just, they don't. I don't think they produce enough. They do kill a lot of birds, though. I guess I don't know. That's what I hear. So you're not running the car off just electricity from the ether. You're running the car off whatever the electrical company gives you. So the electrical company becomes the new oil company, right? In a way. And also the oil companies, we know they're heavily involved in the rare earth minerals and stuff. So you're still basically, these same people are always going to try to get control of whatever is going on. Eventually they'll get to the point where, they'll get involved with the governments, and the governments will say, well, you can't drive more than 100 miles. You just can't. So we're going to limit, they'll limit the amount that people can drive, or they'll say, well, everybody needs to carpool. Because we're just running out of batteries or whatever, and and you'll still pay for it. You'll just pay for the service. I'm not trying to be too cynical, but this is obviously natural progression of government. So if it take 100 years to get there, I don't know, but this may be is something that we have to consider. So even going to the electric car, we're not getting free of the oil. In fact, we'll look back and say oil was more we had more freedom when we were using oil than we will when we use electric. If we go all electric, we're going to be under the thumb of that electrical company. And also, electric cars have this trait. They're all built like computers. Now, when I think of an electric car, I think of designing something. There's certain electric motors you can use. You can hook them up to actual transmission, like a 5-speed transmission, a little Honda transmission or something. You get different speeds out of the motor. Motors running the same speed. You can run the speed through the transmission to give you variable speed so that you can speed up and slow down just like you would in a car. And so I think, you have a good battery pack, you build a battery array or whatever, you have this electric motor, and you modulate the speed with like a transmission, like, as far as, clutch and transmission, just like you would a regular car. And it doesn't have to be a computer. It's just a series of switches and, some step ups and step downs in the energy as far as, depending on how you build the battery array. But there's a way to build the electric cars that is not a driving computer or driving smartphone. But but I don't know anybody that's actually building the cars like that. They're all building the cars to be integrated into Wi-Fi, integrated into 5G. Gotta go. Okay. There's an episode where the lady needs to get a chip installed in her head, and the monthly fees increase, and starts blurting out ads in the middle of the night. That's terrible. Hey, great conversation. You as well, man. Take care, and hopefully we'll catch you on another one here. Her husband starts doing odd jobs to pay for the increasingly expensive subscriptions. Yeah, so that's another thing. Subscription bases cars and your house features in a house. One day you might buy a house and then it has features built in that are subscription based, or like that medical procedures. We think about Elon Musk, right? The tech, the chip in the brain. There you go. Is it going to be a subscription service? Oh yeah, you can see again. Oh yeah, you can walk again. You can do this, that, and the other. But like, is that going to be a subscription service or a flat fee? Does it have to load up to the cloud? Like, do we have to actually, are we going to You know what I mean? Is that going to be hooked to the internet? Is going to be need updates? Probably going to need updates, right? So at that point, you know, you're under the thumb of the tech company. So it seems like freedom because it solves this huge problem. But what it ends up being is this huge issue and probably another type of shackles and chains, which is sad, man. But that's how it goes. That's how it goes, right? You want to be free, you're going to end up with less safety. You're going to end up with probably less longevity in the long. I mean, you're probably going to die quicker, right? Like, I mean, it just is what it is. And life's going to be rough, man. So I tell people you don't really want to escape from the Matrix, because the Matrix, you got it easy. Once you escape, you get into reality. And reality is a whole nother can of worms. But anyway, that being said, we're closing in on the 2-hour mark. So it's been a good day. I appreciate everybody that stopped by, everybody that's run the stream in the background, whatever. It's been fun. As always, we get to the most interesting conversations in the end, but it's all part of it. Like I said, just here live, you know, flexing the live muscles, getting used to this. If you've never gone live to like 0 viewers, like you should probably do it one day, and then it'll make you really think about it. Probably have something better next time to, you know, I actually will begin to, what I've learned from this is I will begin to have things that are ready to roll, so that even if nobody shows up, we'll still have a show. So that's what I'm going to work on for Monday. That's my homework. So that way the next Monday midday live is a lot better. You guys can step in, you know, during all that, but I'll have some kind of a presentation for you guys. And we'll run that for the next, you know, for the first 15, 20, 30 minutes, half hour. And then we'll walk it back as we need to, as people show up. But that being said, I think I am going to call it a day there. It's been fun. Yeah, thanks for being here. We'll catch you on the next one. I'm out.